Hi guys! Today I'm going to make a video about how to decorate your cover. We're using a technique called collage to decorate our covers, and we're going to get started. So this is your cover sheet. It's a sheet of watercolor paper, so you can tell that it's thicker, and that's going to help us when we glue all this stuff onto our cover sheet. First thing we want to do is fold it in half, hamburger style, and make sure you try to do your best with lining up the corners and the edges so that your book is going to be nice and straight. And then press the seam like really nice all the way down. It's kind of tough because this paper is thick. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and unfold it and then fold it back. Go the other way with it, so that our cover is really going to bend in the seam, okay? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just open it up, and you should see it's like kind of wrinkly here where your seam is, and that's cool. So I've already picked out some things I'm going to use to cover my cover with, but you are going to have a chance to get at least one piece of large scrapbook paper, pattern paper, and then we have a ton of ceramics magazines and other magazines, and so you're welcome to use messages and letters if you want, or like even this sheet, it's kind of like a pattern sheet, but it actually was out of a ceramics book, so these are little ceramics like drops on the wall. And then on the other side, so I kind of did two little schemes. So this one I'm kind of planning for the outside of my cover, and then we're gonna cover this whole entire sheet. So the outside I'm gonna do with this kind of collaboration, and then this combination I kind of picked the peppers because I thought they went with those style of plate and that ceramics. So you have to have at least some ceramics on your cover, and then the other requirement is to definitely cover the entire surface. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started covering and cutting up our stuff. So in this salsa jar, I brought home a little bit of Mod Podge to use for this. Hopefully it's plenty. And I'm gonna start with thinking about kind of a layout, and I'm not gonna glue anything down right away. So this scrapbook page actually completely covers the outside cover, and I'm not sure if I really want that to be the deal. And the nice thing is that it overlaps, so something I think I would recommend is at some point overlapping the outside and folding over into the inside before you do the inside cover, so that it doesn't seem to come apart right here. It seems to go better if something can wrap around the edges. So if I go ahead and do this, then these edges are a little bit like separated and these ones are over. So I had the thought of, if I did the spine like this with this one, and then I cut my sheet, which I'm going to go ahead and do. And then I can either overlap them and fold them this way, or I could go underneath this and just have these two edges. So I'm just going to kind of lay this out a little bit. Nothing's like set in stone. And then I have these couple pictures of ceramics that I cut out. So I think I'm going to actually go on the front cover. So when you think about this sheet folded in half, this side is your front of your sketchbook. So when you're doing your design and you want your design to be kind of heavy on the front, then you want to make sure you go on the right side of the seam instead of on the left, because that's going to be the back. But you can decorate the back and keep the front simple, so just kind of to be aware. So if I put this here, maybe I could just cut it out right around the outline and then maybe do something like this. So one of the most important parts about collage is just that you are overlapping the paper. You don't want anything to be showing underneath, and just kind of layers of paper on top of each other is really like the definition of a collage. Maybe this one will save for the back. Cool. So that's kind of my plan for the outside, and then if I can kind of just think quickly about the inside, and then I'll just get started gluing, and you'll see how this can go. So I could go in here with this. Maybe this can go here. Maybe just kind of a little overlay, okay? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting things out and gluing things on. Use your little sponge brush. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the top and the bottom, not put any Mod Podge there. And do that a little bit later when I do the inside. Great. So that's kind of my first layer, my bottom layer of my collage. Awesome. So this I'm kind of like, this is huge to fold over. So what I think I'm going to do is just kind of maybe if I want to put some other pieces on later, I can do that. If I save some. Well. So after you have all of the pieces on there that you want, then you need to go ahead and take your brush and just do a really thin layer of the Mod Podge over the whole entire cover on the outside. Don't worry, like if you decide later you want to add something else, then you definitely can just do another layer, but if you're all the way done, you want to do this layer to just kind of seal your collage cover. Hey, okay, so you can see I added a few little things, little words to the front. I can keep adding if I want to the front, but we're going to go ahead and finish the inside. So this will be day 2. We'll let it dry, and then day 2 we'll do the inside. So the first thing you want to do is any parts that you have overlap, and it doesn't have to be the whole thing, but if it is the whole thing, that's great. Any parts that you have overlap, I recommend just kind of like cutting off the corners of that overlap a little bit so that you can fold it over easily and you don't have like really thick corner edges on there. So just kind of cut near the corner, cut that off so that you can fold it in nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and make the folds before I do any of the gluing. I'm just going to kind of make these creases so that they'll stay down. Awesome. It'll go clear once it's dry, for sure. Okay. It's gonna be a great cover. It's good. Hey guys, we're about to finish up here by assembling the sketchbook. So the cover's done, the inside's dry, added these little kind of poem, and folded it again, kind of just crease it. Make sure it's really folded. See, you can tell mine's not like perfectly in line, but we try to get close. But these will be really durable. So first thing we need to do is poke our holes. So you'll have a textbook. I have this one from home, from college. And we're going to go ahead and take your sketchbook pack and flip through and find the part that says spring goal. That'll be the second pack. So set the spring one to the side and then fold the fall one, should say unit 3 in the inside, in half. And give it a good crease. If you want, you can use like the side of your needle tool to really crease down. Okay, so you can leave that to the side and then go ahead and fold your spring one so it doesn't get shuffled. Okay, so you have 2 packs, so they'll go in like this into the book. But we need to poke our holes. We're going to do 3 holes. So now you need your textbook. And if you want to measure, you can. I'm just going to like mark. I'm going to do one right in the center, and then I'm going to come down about an inch. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to say I'm coming down an inch. And then go up an inch. So you don't want it too far to the edge, or else you won't have enough string. And you can go a little farther in than this, but you don't want it too thin or else your book will be flimsy. So we're going to go ahead and take our needle tool and poke all the way down through into the spine of the book, through all of the pages. Okay, so then, not to confuse you, but in order for your holes to be the same for every pack and for the cover, what we're going to do is take our fall one that we started with and put it inside of the spring pack. And just line it up. And then we're just going to go straight down through those holes again. It should be easy, but it'll go through the second pack now. Now we're going to poke our holes in our actual cover. So set your cover in. Go ahead and take your spring pack, or your fall pack, and try to line it up equal distance from the top and the bottom. So there should be about 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So now you're going to go all the way down through all of those pages that you glued on and through the cover all the way through. Now we're going to stitch. So it should all come together right here. You're all gonna have a needle, and it has a pretty big eye on it. And we're gonna go ahead and just take the wax string and kind of flatten one end of it and thread the needle. I'll come around and help you if you need help. Then we're gonna put through about 3 or 4 inches. Okay. All right, here we go with our figure 8 stitch. So we're gonna start in the inside because that's where we're gonna tie it off. So we're gonna go through the middle of the pack, of the fall pack, and then the middle hole that you poked into your cover. So we're going from the inside through to the back. Okay, then you're gonna wanna hold about 4 inches in the inside so that you can tie it off later. Now we're gonna come back in. This is where the figure 8 starts. You're gonna come in the top of the back and the top of the back of the pack, the fall pack. Make sure that your cover's the right side up and the fall pack is right side up. Better do that before we get too far. Okay? And then you want to make sure you pull it tight. And then hold your inside string in so that you don't go through the string. It's really important when you go through these holes that you try not to get the needle to go through the string, because then you'll get really caught up and you will tangle your string. So pull that one towards that, and now you have in through the back, through the inside to the back, and then from the back to the inside, and then now we're back out. Now we'll do the bottom of our figure 8. So we're going to the bottom, and through the bottom of the pack, up, and then back, yep, back through the middle. If you're with me, hope you're with me. Try to pull those strings to the side and get that needle to go in to the side of any strings there. Alright, here we are. To the back. Now, our first pack is all the way in. We are going to come back in later and tie that off, but now we're going to close the first pack. Take the second one, open it up, and then we're going to keep continuing with our figure 8 back through the back of the cover, but this time we're going to come in through the back of the top of the second pack. To the inside. Okay, here we go. Back down, in through the back. Remember, try to be careful not to go through the strings. Just gonna get a little help from the table. Up through that. Pull tight each time you go through so that your book stays together really well. Now we're going in through the bottom. Great. Getting low on string, but we're almost there. So we're going back through the middle once more. Great. And then to tie off, what we're going to do is switch back to the spring or the fall pack, the first one. Go back in through that hole. Yep. It's kind of tough because you've gone through a couple times and the strings are there. So pull that all the way through. You can take your needle off now. Pull both strings tight through and go ahead and tie off with a double knot. And go ahead and trim. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.